Welcome to the Touchdown Bears podcast. My name is Richard Fung, and today I'm going to give you my thoughts about the Bears draft class of 2025. Now, I don't know about you, but after the draft is over, after Rich Eisen has done his Run Rich Run, after Mel Kiper Jr. has eaten his pumpkin pie, after Mr. Relevant has been selected, I'm exhausted. I really am. I mean, it's not just 3 days of draft coverage, it's months of reading draft previews, looking at highlights of draft prospects, reading and watching a gazillion mock drafts. It's a lot, and it all comes down to 3 days in April. Now, going into the first round, there were rampant rumors about the Bears trying to trade up for Ashton Jeanty. Bears GM Ryan Poles ultimately said that the price was too high. It didn't make sense. It most likely would have taken one of the Bears' second rounders to make the move up to 4 or 5 overall. I can see the reasoning there. It would have been exciting, definitely, to get Jeanty, but I can see why the Bears did not do it. So the draft starts. Cam Ward goes number 1. Jacksonville trades up to number 2 to get Travis Hunter. Abdul Carter goes 3, Will Campbell 4, and then Mason Graham goes 5 to Cleveland. Now, I had Graham falling to the Bears at 10 in my mock draft, so that went out the window. Then the Raiders took Jeanty at 6. My heart sank a little bit, I gotta admit it. And then 7, the Jets. From all the mock drafts I had seen, I had expected the Jets to take Tyler Warren here. But instead they went with Armand Membou, the tackle from Mizzou. The Panthers took McMillan, Teteroa McMillan, at 8. That was pretty surprising, but they get Bryce Young a nice big target to throw to. And then at 9, I really had no idea of what the Saints were going to do there. I decided to take a shot at having them take Jackson Dart in my mock draft, but instead they took Kelvin Banks Jr., the tackle from Texas, who had been mocked to the Bears quite a bit in the lead up to the draft. So now we come to number 10. Both tight ends are there, Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland. Michael Williams, Georgia pass rusher, also there. Any of those picks would have been fine in my book. And in my video I did about Warren last week, I talked about how I thought that he might be slightly better fit because of his versatility. We know Ben Johnson loves trick plays. You could line up Warren as a quarterback and have him throw. You can have him run, quarterback power. You can have him do the tush push if it's still legal. Or you can split him out wide. You can do all kinds of things with him. But as it turned out, Poles and Johnson just wanted the best receiving tight end, and Loveland is definitely that guy in my book. I think he's quicker, he's faster than Warren. The main things that stand out about Loveland are that he just gets open really quickly. He's a former wide receiver, and he can threaten the defense at all 3 levels. You can throw a quick slant to him. He can use his big frame to box out the defender, easy first down. Or you can throw it to him deep down the seam, and he can open things up for targets like DJ Moore and Rome Odunze, and the guy the Bears took with their next selection. More on that in a moment. So now we're going into the second round, and I'm thinking running back. Both Ohio State backs are still there. The powerful Quinshon Judkins and the explosive Trevion Henderson. Judkins surprisingly goes first, and I'm thinking, uh-oh, Henderson is not going to last long. And as it turns out, the Bears did try to trade up. Dan Weeder reported it in the Chicago Tribune a few days ago. It probably, I don't know what it would have taken. It probably would have taken maybe a 4th or 5th rounder to move up a few spots. They tried to move up to 35, didn't work out. And they continued trying to move up, and they just could not get it done. And then the Patriots took Henderson one pick before the Bears, and I said some very, very naughty words. I was not happy at all. So, if you're the Bears, what do? How do you regroup? Well, they decided to take wide receiver Luther Burden III from Mizzou. Now, I did not have slot receiver on my radar after the signing of Olamide Zaccheaus as a free agent in the offseason, but if slot receiver was on my radar, I would have had Burden at the top of my list. I mean, he has the best run after catch ability of any receiver in this draft. He's just a really fun player. He could serve as a Deebo Samuel type of player in this offense. He could be really fun. Now, you can argue that if they were going to take a receiver, they could have used more of a burner to take the top off the defense, or they could have used a pass rusher. They could have used a safety here. You can say that this was a bit of a luxury pick, but ultimately Poles felt like the value was too good to pass up here. Now, with all these weapons, I mean, there's so many mouths to feed. How do you get the ball to everyone? And there were reports, Weeder reported, that some people thought that Burden did not handle getting decreased touches last season at Mizzou very well. So we'll have to see what happens here. Now, at this point, the Bears decide to trade down. They pick up an extra second with Buffalo. Pretty good deal. And with their next pick, they decided to take tackle Ozzie Trapillo from Boston College. He's a huge guy at 6'8". The last time the Bears had a tackle around that height, it was Mark Colombo. Obviously, things did not work out for him here, but he did have success with the Cowboys later on. Hopefully this goes better. He's more of a right tackle than a left tackle, Trapillo is. But Poles said on ESPN 1000 earlier in the week that the Bears want to see what he looks like at left tackle. So there had been talk about potentially switching Darnell Wright to the left side so that Trapillo can play right. I don't think that would be ideal at all. You want to leave Wright at right tackle where he's starting to come into his own. This pick of Trapillo is a bit of a gamble to see if he can play left tackle, but it could definitely pay off big time if it works out. And if he can't really stick at left, then he can be a swing tackle. So with their final second round pick, the Bears decided to take Shamar Turner, defensive tackle from Texas A&M. I said in my final report for fantasyfootballmastermind.com last year that the Bears could use some players with more of an edge. Turner definitely qualifies. In fact, you may need to tell him to rein it in a little bit. He definitely brings the intensity all the time. And he's very versatile. He played all over the line at A&M. So I think this was a nice pick. He brings good depth to the interior D-line, and he can play edge too potentially. Now we come to the third round. The Bears don't have a third round pick because of this trade with Buffalo. Caleb Johnson goes in the third. And now we come to day 3 of the draft. Bashal Tutin is still there. Cam Skadaboo is still there. They're not there for long. They both go within the first few picks of the 4th round, and I'm like, oh, come on. Getting running back in this draft for the Bears was like Murphy's Law, and I don't mean Frank Murphy, the running back the Bears took in the 6th round in 2000. So with the Bears' 4th rounder, they decided to go with a linebacker, Ruben Hippolyte II from Maryland. Well, he's really fast. He ran a 4.42 40. Could he be a replacement for Jack Sanborn? Maybe. Most draft analysts said this was a reach, and I have to agree. Now we come to the 5th round, and Jordan James, a running back from Oregon, is still there. Now I had mentioned him all the way back on day 2 as a potential alternative to Caleb Johnson. He went one pick before the Bears again. Do you see a trend here? So immediately the Bears decided to trade down again. And then they wound up with Zay Frazier, a cornerback from UTSA, Texas San Antonio. At that point in the draft, you're drafting for traits. You're looking at height, weight, speed guys. And he definitely fits. He's 6'3", that's great size for a corner. He ran a 4.3 640, so can't really complain about this pick. Now we come to the 6th round, and the Bears decide to take Luke Newman. He's a guard from Michigan State. Interesting thing about him is he played left tackle for 3 years at Holy Cross before he transferred to Michigan State, and then he played left guard there. So he brings good versatility. Maybe he has a chance to stick. Now we come to the 7th round, and the Bears finally get a running back. They take Kyle Monungai from Rutgers. He's got good contact balance. He's a physical, tough runner, shifty too. He never fumbled in college. He catches the ball fairly well. He's undersized at 5'8". He's not the fastest guy, but he was very productive at Rutgers. Not many 7th rounders stick, but I think this guy has a real shot. I mean, you think about Isaiah Pacheco, 7th rounder who'd done pretty well for the Chiefs. Monungai was actually his successor at Rutgers. So, pretty good pick for a 7th rounder, I think. So, my overall grade for this Bears draft class is a B. I really like Lovin. I think he's going to be really good. Burden, for me, is the most interesting pick. He could become the next Debo. He could be a really fun player. Or he could become a burden if he starts complaining about not getting enough touches. I have to say, though, not getting Trevion Henderson really hurt. It still stings for me. Hopefully Trapillo can stick at left tackle. Turner will add juice and versatility to the defensive line. Hippolyte and Frazier are height, weight, speed guys. Let's see if they can stick. Newman has nice versatility, being able to play left guard or left tackle. Monungai could be the sleeper. I think he could be a fan favorite. He could be. So, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.